Well, here we are in the month of June, and we've got a lot of good things in store for you this month. Besides the normal telling you what you can do in the garden and in the lawn this month, we're going to visit several sites in the county. We're going to visit the Taylorsville Community Garden site, where you can see a lot of different vegetables being raised and the expansion that's going on there. We're also going to visit Miss Evelyn Quillen's house in the northern part of the county and let you see some kiwi fruits that are being grown, which are very unusual in our county and in our area. And then we're also going to visit Lenny's Mill and highlight what they do here as far as agriculture in the county. So it's going to be a great show, so stay tuned. Well, here we are at the Taylorsville Community Gardens, and we're now in the second year of production here in the gardens. And here we are at the very 1st of June, and several things are starting to come in now. I know some people have gotten some lettuce, a few strawberries, maybe some early squash. So things are starting to come in production. We have expanded the beds this year. We just only had 10 beds last year, but we've added 6 more beds. The Extension Master Gardeners helped us build 6 more beds. The town did put some money in for the materials, and so we now have 16 beds, and they are all being used. All 16 are taken, and we'll just look around here some with the camera and see what all's here. But they look like they're doing a good job. A wide variety of vegetables, herbs, strawberries, things of that nature are here in the raised beds at the Taylorsville Community Gardens. Well, here we are at the Taylorsville Community Gardens, and we have one of our gardeners, Terry Graham, who lives just right over next door. And Terry has a nice looking bed here. But one thing before you get started on your bed, Terry, I think we've had a little visitor that's been coming around our beds. Yeah. And it's not the same visitor as last year.
No, we've had a few this year. There's a lot of squirrels, but I don't think they've bothered mine any, except digging in it. But they've ate some strawberries.
Yeah, I noticed that 1 or 2 strawberries look like they'd picked on it. Not major damage, but there's been more than one, hasn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Several squirrels, but
yeah.
No major damage, but we see them quite often around the raised beds here. So, Terry, I'm just going to let you take the mic and kind of tell us what you've got planted in your raised bed here.
All right. We'll start up here. These are sage and some cilantro, and then onions, tomatoes. I got romas and cherries. And I don't know what kind it is. It's a hybrid of some sort. And then I've got some peppers. There's 4 poblano's, 4 jalapenos, a cayenne, and a big red bell. And this is eggplant and squash. And then there's cucumbers. This is parsley, lemon balm, sage, and some dill weed and tarragon. And some are doing better than others.
Well, here we are, just very 1st of June, so they've got a long time to grow for the rest of the summer, so you'll get plenty of size on all these. And he's got some herbs too, and we're going to go up here and see what he's got, what kind of herbs he's got planted in some extra pots.
I've got, besides a few herbs in the raised bed, I've got these. Actually, these were left from last year, and they made it through the winter. This is thyme, and we believe this is mint of some sort. This is rosemary, and here I've got, it's Greek oregano and chives.
Well, here we are still with the Taylorsville Community Gardens, and I just want to say that it has been a huge success, and There's no way in the world this project would have ever been possible without the support of the town of Taylorsville. And we have with us here today Ronnie Robinette, one of the town councilmen. And Ronnie, I just want to hear a few comments from you about the community gardens here.
Well, the town of Taylorsville's been happy to be a part of it. And I think it's been a great success already. We started with 10 beds, we're up to 16, and I'd like to see us have room to put 10 more in here. And so far, every one of them we've had's been taken. And what we've got out here, as you can see, is it gives these people inside the city limits that don't have a place to raise a garden, it gives them an opportunity to come down here, get a bed, and raise something and feel like accomplishing. And it's a great feeling to take a seed and that seed turn into a vegetable that you're able to set one night and eat at the table. So the town is happy to be a part of it, and we hope it just continues to grow. And you know, I'd like to see it even go county-wide to where we could move beds out into the county in the different sections, because there's a lot of people that could benefit from this. And you know, the farmers market, if they get too much, they can come to the farmers market and sell it right there at the farmers market, or give it away. We got places that need food brought to them. So, you know, here's an opportunity for people to use the community gardens and raise stuff to benefit the citizens of the town of Taylorsville and Alexander County. And we appreciate the Extension Office coming to us and working with us and asking us to do this, and we're happy to have been a part of it.
Well, I don't know if this really goes in with the month of June, but we do have a raised bed here. It's a little different. Have you ever seen a raised bed with a handle on it? Well, this is truly a portable or a mobile raised bed, and it's 3 by 3, but we've been able to lift it up. It takes 4 men really to lift it up. It's very heavy. It's heavier than it looks. When you get wet dirt, it's very heavy. So we can lift it up in the back of a truck, and we used it at the Farm to Fork, where every first grader in the county got to see some vegetables that can be grown in a garden. And also we used this at Spring Fling festival that was held at Matheson Park. So it's a good little demonstration tool that we can leave out here and keep it watered and taken care of at the community garden site, but then we can also move it for groups to see what can be raised in a raised bed garden. Okay, here in the month of June, there are a few things that you can prune. June is pretty much the month to prune your narrow-leaf evergreens like junipers, arborvitae, and white pine. So if you need some pruning done on some of those evergreens, now's the time to get out there and get that done. Also, on some of your flowers that are fading, you know, remove those deadhead flowers to encourage more flowering. Also, as far as your mums, you can pinch them back to encourage more branching or a denser mum coming up in the yard or garden. So that's a few things you can do as far as pruning goes for the month of June. Okay, as far as lawns go for the month of June, you should not be fertilizing any in the month of June. For most of us that have fescue lawns, keep that mowing height between 3 and 4 inches. You don't want to scalp that lawn. And if for some reason you want to try something else like zoysia grass, June is a month that you would put those plugs in the ground or sod or whatever. So, you know, those are some things that you can do as far as lawn care in the month of June. Okay, a few specific chores, some things you might need to be doing in the month of June, or if you've got irises, they've already bloomed, so now's a good time that you can actually dig those up and divide your iris. You can trellis some of those vegetables you've planted that may need trellising, like pole beans, cucumbers, tomatoes would need some support, but now's the time to go ahead and get those trellises built or stakes in the ground or whatever to support a lot of those vegetables that need some vertical support there. Then also If you haven't mulched already, it'd be a great time to get your mulch out there in your landscape beds and wherever. Some people mulch underneath their tomato plants, which is an excellent idea. Also, if it turns dry, which hasn't been the case here lately, but if it does, the gardens do definitely need an inch of water a week. So that's a few things that you can do in the month of June as far as some extra specific chores. Well, there's a lot of flowers that are in bloom this month of June. Some of those are things like magnolia, the mimosa trees, our native rhododendrons, oak leaf hydrangeas, phlox, spirea, trumpet creepers, butterfly weeds, daylilies, balloon flower, coreopsis, cannas, rose of Sharon, and a lot of different summer annuals such as these. So there's a lot of flowers that are in bloom in the month of June. Well, here in the month of June, we've got a little unusual fruit that a lot of people don't grow in Alexander County, and that's kiwi. And we have Evelyn Quillen with us, and she has several male and female kiwi plants. And kiwi is different in that you have to have a male and a female plant to produce fruit. And Evelyn, you said that this kiwi has been here how long?
Better than 30 years now.
30 years. And when did your kiwi bloom here?
The last part of April, first week in May there.
Okay. Now, kiwi's not really adapted so much for our climate. You know, when we have some years that don't have very cold springs, she's had some good fruit, but this year we've had a cold snap, and if it gets down between 29 to 29 degrees after it leaves out, it usually will not produce fruit, and that's what happened this year. So we may have one or two pieces of fruit here, but not very much. Evelyn, have you had some years where you have had fruit here on these?
Oh yes, we had one year that they were loaded really beautifully, and we really enjoyed the fruit that year. I had so many that I think it was close to 200 fruit that particular year, and we laid them out in a tray and took some pictures of them and everything, and they were so good. Some of them were twins, got big old things like that, and then some of them about like that. A large size of kiwi like you see in the store mostly, so they were very good and very nutritious also.
Wow. Do they keep very long in the refrigerator or anything for you?
Well, they say if you just store them in a cool place, so we just put them in a cool place in a flat tray and laid them out and everything, you know, and they kept real well. Put some newspaper under them, and that helped to give them air to breathe, you know, and all, and not put plastic under, but the newspaper. And so they did real well as far as keeping, and we were able to use them all.
Okay. Well, good. Now I know you have to do a lot of pruning because these vines will really run if you don't prune this, don't you?
Yes, that is the hardest part, is the pruning and getting it just right. You have to know about how much to cut back and everything. So we've done everything trying to get these things to do well, but it looks like most of the time when we don't have a crop, it's because the weather gets our blooms and everything. So we had a pretty good crop of blooms this year and last year, but looks like that cold snap may have gotten most of the fruit for us for this year, but we'll keep working and keep doing our best to try to have some fruit next year if it doesn't do well this year.
Okay. And I know there's more cold hardy varieties than others, and the best female really is the Hayward, and it's the best cold hardy female that you can get. And then one of the males I think is called a Chico male, which is a cold hardy variety. So there are cold hardy kiwis that do better in our kind of moderate climates here, but kiwi's typically a warmer climate fruit, but they do grow here. Now whether they produce as much fruit every year, that's the problem, but they do grow well. Well, here Miss Quillen has 2 grapevines, and they're about 15 or 20 foot long here on the trellis, and you can see a lot of grapes there. One thing that she said she does have trouble with is Japanese beetles, so you know she'll often spray with 7 dust when they start hitting the leaves and really chewing and working on those. But some people have fungus problems with their grapes, and if so, you might need to spray a fungicide or a tree fruit type spray with Cap 10 or something like that on a regular basis if you have some disease problems with your grapes. But these here look like they're in great shape. Well, we've talked about things that are in bloom in the month of June, and one of those is the pomegranate, which is kind of unusual around here, but this is a beautiful pomegranate tree or bush, whatever you want to call it, but it's beautiful and in full bloom right now. Well, one of the things Miss Quillian has here is a large fig tree, and they've just cut it back immensely. I remember it being much taller than the house when I was out here last time, but it's one of the old-timey figs. It's been here how long, did you say, Evelyn?
Oh, we planted in 1975 approximately, so what, 36, 37 years?
Long
something
time.
Like that.
So it's probably a brown turkey or a Celeste. That's the two older types that we used to have, but there's several figs growing on the ends of the limbs now, and we'll show you some of those in a minute. But I know you've sold some of the extra ones at the farmer's market. We've had it there in Taylorsville over the last few years. And you dehydrate some, you dry some?
Oh yes, they are wonderful. Dehydrated, they're just like eating a piece of candy. They've got a natural sweetness to them, that just makes them wonderful. And I've got some friends that have been sick, and I'd share some with them, and they say, "Oh, Abby, bring me some more." Those figs are so good. So they're wonderful. It's work to work them up and everything, but it's worth it whenever you save what you can't use at the time and dehydrate them and eat them in the wintertime. They're wonderful.
Okay, very good. And like she's got hers planted next to the house here, if they're left out in the unopened and unprotected during the wintertime, they'll often be killed back to the ground. But if they're up near a house where a house holds a little warmth, that protects them and does usually keep them from dying all the way back to the ground.
Okay, this fig that you see up here at the top of the limb here, this is one of the first crop figs, I call it, because the end of that limb up there was left when my husband and I got through pruning the tree this year. And then the growth up above that big fig up there, it has small figs on it, as you can see. That's what I call a second growth, as all this new growth comes out from the plants and everything. And it'll just keep growing profusely all summer and producing figs all along the way. So when they start getting ripe, you just come out here every day or two and check them and pull the limbs down, because they're flexible. The young ones are anyhow. And you can reach up there and get what you want to eat and just eat them right off the tree. We do many, many times. And they're just wonderful fruits to enjoy fresh right off the tree. They're usually clean enough you don't even have to wash them if you don't want to. The skin is very thin on them, so you just eat them like a banana peeled, It's wonderful. Good fruit to eat and enjoy, and you can do all kind of desserts and different things with them too. I make a fig cake sometimes. It's excellent. So however you want to use them, but in the wintertime, like I said, we dehydrate them in the summertime, and then in the wintertime we can enjoy them when we don't have a green fig tree. And of course this tree is pruned back in the wintertime too, so that you get all the old growth off of there, but not too closely. This year we pruned it heavy though, because it was so great, so big and all out in the way. We've even dug up some limbs and given other people some to transplant in their yard by it being an older fig tree. So it's just a wonderful fruit to enjoy.
Well, here in the month of June, we're out at one of our local historical sites, I guess, in the county, and every month we often highlight one of our agribusinesses or a nursery or something of that nature in the county. And today we're out here at Lenny's Mill, and I have Billy Lenny here with me that runs the store, and Campbell Feeds runs the mill, Campbell Feeds and Fertilizer. So Billy, tell us a little bit about the mill and some history here at the mill.
Okay. My grandpa started the mill in 1936, and my dad, he run it the rest of his life, and then I started running it. And these stones right back here was from an old mill that washed out. And I was swimming one day in the swimming hole, and I stumped my toe on one of them. That's the way we found the stones. And we've also found the turbine that turned the stones. It's what we use this kind of stones to grind our cornmeal with, only it's smaller. And we do a pretty good job with it.
We're in the store here. And Billy, I want you to tell us about some of the products that you make here at the mill and sell here. And there's a lot of different things. It's a neat little store out here.
Okay. I sell a lot of stone ground grits. I got white and yellow here, and then I sell a lot of cornmeal, self-rising and plain. And then I sell a lot of pancake mix, pancake and waffle mix.
And what all's in that, Billy?
Pancake and waffle, it's got a low-grade flour in it, and the corn flour, and got sugar and the salt and soda and everything you need. All you gotta do is add water to this.
Gotcha. Well, I know my kids love it. I buy it every time I come out here.
Then these grits, you boil them for about 15 minutes. You boil them for about 15 minutes in boiling water. Oprah Winfrey eats a lot of these grits.
Has she?
Yeah, she paid $600 to have 80 pounds shipped out.
I hope you've enjoyed this month's June garden calendar. We've had fun filming it, and we've hoped you've enjoyed our show. If you have any questions, contact us at the Extension Center in Taylorsville. Address is 376 First Avenue Southwest. Phone number is 632-4451. And if you want to find us on the web, we're at alexanderextension.com.